Let us draw a vertical timeline. This is today. This is 1 year later. This is 2 years later. And this is 3 years later. Assume you have a principal of 100 rupees invested today. And also assume the bank gives you a 5% rate of interest annually. So how much will you get if you take your money out after a year? Yes, you will get 105 rupees at the end of the first year. But what if the interest is calculated half yearly? The interest for half a year will be 2.5%. Assume that this is 6 months later. At the rate of 2.5%, if you withdraw your money at the end of 6 months, you will get 102.5 rupees. Now it is this money that will get compounded for the next 6 months at the rate of 2.5%. For each year, there will be 2 periods, or you can call them 2 half years. So half-yearly compounding is not rocket science. Instead of 5% directly, we compound for 6 months at 2.5% and then compound for another 6 months at 2.5%. Now let's see a question based on half-yearly compounding. Find compound interest on 10,000 rupees for 2 years at the rate of interest of 10% per annum compounded half-yearly. Find the total amount due at the end of 2 years. The first thing we should do when we are given such a question is read it well. Let's take a rough paper and note everything that we have been given. We are told that we need to find the compound interest. We're given the principal. We're given the time period for which the principal is kept with the bank. And we're given the rate of interest. But the most important thing here is that it is compounded half yearly. It means that we have to be careful about these 2 factors, the time period and the rate. The rate per year is given as 10%. Since the compounding is half yearly, what we are interested in is the rate for half a year. Since the rate for the full year is 10%, the rate for half a year will be 10 by 2, which is 5%. Half year means 6 months. So in 1 year, there are 2 half years. And hence, in 2 years, there will be 4 half years. Now let us draw the table with columns half years, principal, interest, and amount due. Now we look at the first half year. The principal at the start of the first half year is 10,000 rupees. So a 5% interest would be 500 rupees. So the amount due at the end of 6 months will be this plus this, which equals 10,500. If we take our money out after 6 months, we will get 10,500 rupees. Now we look at the second half of the year. Since it's compound interest, this will be our principal for the second half year. 5% interest will be 525 rupees. So the total amount due at the end of the first year will be the sum of these two, 11,025 rupees. Now we reach the third half year. This will be the principal and the interest of 5% amounts to 551.25. So the amount will equal 11,576.25. And this is how the row for the fourth half year will look like. The interest will be 578.81. Finally, we get the amount at the end of the fourth half year as 12,155.06. And that's what we have been asked for. If we add up the interest, we get the total compound interest as 2,155.06, which is also this minus the initial principal. So what we found out is basically the compound interest on a principal of 10,000 rupees at the rate of 10% per annum compounded half yearly for a period of 2 years. Before we move on to the next concept, just remember that at the end of the first year, the amount due is 11,025 rupees and we use half yearly compounding. What if the interest is calculated quarterly? We cover that in the next video.